Picture this. It's a chilly evening in a bustling city, the kind where the streetlights flicker and the air smells faintly of rain. A young woman, let's call her Mia, stands outside her apartment door, fumbling with her keys, her breath visible in the cold. She's got that look. You know the one. Frustration mixed with a little bit of panic. Her key isn't working. The lock's jammed, or maybe it's been changed. She's locked out, alone, with nowhere to go. And then, out of the shadows, a guy appears. Not a creepy stranger, mind you, but someone with a warm smile and an offer that sounds too good to be true. Hey, you can crash at my place if you need to. Sounds like the start of a rom-com, right? Or maybe something more mysterious? Why was she locked out? Who is this guy, and what does he really want? You're probably already wondering, what happens next? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're gonna get answers that'll leave you speechless. This isn't just a story, it's a roller coaster of emotions, and I'm here to guide you through every twist and turn. Let's dive in, because Mia's night is about to change everything, and you're not gonna want to miss a single second of it. I know what you're thinking. Okay, cool story, but why should I keep watching? Well, let me get real with you for a moment. We've all been in those moments where life throws a curveball. Maybe not as dramatic as being locked out of your home, but those times when you feel stuck, vulnerable, or like the universe is playing a prank on you. That's what makes Mia's story so relatable. She's not some untouchable movie star. She's just like you and me, trying to figure things out when everything goes sideways. And this guy, let's call him Ethan. He's not just a random hero swooping in. There's something about him, something that makes you wonder if he's her knight in shining armor or if there's a catch to his kindness. I'm not gonna spoil it yet, but I promise you, every question buzzing in your head right now, about Mia, Ethan, and that locked door, will be answered by the time this video ends. I'm talking jaw-dropping reveals, heart-pounding moments, and a story that'll stick with you long after you click away. So grab your popcorn, get comfy, and let's unpack this together. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into Mia's world, and I'm right here with you, like a friend dishing the juiciest gossip you've ever heard. Now let's set the scene a bit more, because I want you to feel like you're right there with Mia, standing on that dimly lit doorstep. Imagine a city like Chicago or New York. Tall buildings, the hum of traffic in the distance, and that crisp autumn vibe that makes you pull your jacket a little tighter. Mia's in her mid-20s, with a messy bun and a backpack slung over one shoulder. She's the kind of person who's always got a plan, but tonight, her plan's gone out the window. She's been trying to get into her apartment for 20 minutes, and her phone's almost dead. You can feel her frustration, can't you? That sinking feeling when you realize you're stuck, and no one's around to help. That's when Ethan shows up. He's maybe a little older, with a casual vibe, jeans, a hoodie, and a smile that says, "I've got this." He lives in the same building, he says, and he's got a spare couch if she needs a place to crash. It's a simple offer, but there's something in his eyes, a flicker of something that makes Mia, and you, pause. Is he just being nice? Or is there more to this? You're probably already hooked, aren't you? I mean, who wouldn't be? A locked door, a mysterious stranger, and a night that's about to take a turn no one saw coming. Keep watching, because I'm about to pull back the curtain on what makes this story so wild. Let's talk about why this story matters, because I know you're not here just for fluff. You want something that hits deep. Mia's situation isn't just about a broken lock. It's about trust, vulnerability, and those moments in life when you have to make a split-second decision that could change everything. We've all been there, right? That time you had to decide whether to trust someone new, take a risk, or play it safe. Mia's standing at that crossroads, and Ethan's offer is like a key, not just to his apartment, but to a whole new chapter of her life. Maybe it's a love story, maybe it's something darker, but either way, it's gonna keep you glued to your screen. I'm not just telling you a story. I'm inviting you to feel what Mia feels, to wonder what you'd do in her shoes. And let me let you in on a little secret. This video isn't just about Mia and Ethan. It's about the choices we all make when life locks us out and someone hands us a key. By the end, you're gonna know exactly what happens when Mia steps through that door, and trust me, it's gonna blow your mind. So don't you dare click away. This is one story you need to see through to the end. Alright, let's zoom in on Ethan a bit, because he's a big part of why this story's got you intrigued. He's not your typical guy next door. There's a quiet confidence to him, like he's been through some stuff but doesn't wear it on his sleeve. When he offers Mia a place to stay, it's not pushy or weird, it's genuine, Or at least it seems that way. But here's the thing. Mia's not sure she can trust him, and honestly, you might not be either. There's a hint of something in his past, maybe a secret he's not telling her. You're probably thinking, is this guy too good to be true, or is he trouble? That's exactly what I want you to feel, because that question is the heartbeat of this story. Mia's gotta decide whether to take a chance on Ethan, and you're gonna be right there with her, second-guessing, wondering, and maybe even rooting for something to spark between them. I'm not gonna give you the answers yet. Oh no, we're just getting started. But I promise, every piece of this puzzle is gonna fall into place, and when it does, you'll be like, no way. So, stick with me, because we're about to peel back the layers of this mystery, and you're not gonna believe where it leads. Now, I know you're invested, because who wouldn't be? A locked-out girl, a charming stranger, and a night full of possibilities. It's the kind of story that trends on YouTube for a reason. People are searching for stories like this right now, real-life drama, romantic mysteries, shocking twists. That's why you clicked on this video, and I'm not gonna let you down. This isn't just another clickbait tale. It's a journey that's gonna make you laugh, maybe tear up a little, and definitely keep you on the edge of your seat. I'm talking to you directly because I want you to feel like we're in this together, like you're my best friend and I'm spilling the tea on the wildest story I've ever heard. You're not just a viewer. You're part of this. And let me make you a promise. If you watch this video all the way through, you're gonna get every answer you're craving. Why was Mia locked out? What's Ethan's deal? And what happens when she takes him up on his offer? I'm not gonna leave you hanging. Well, not completely. But right now, let's leave Mia standing at Ethan's door, her hand hovering over the knob, her heart racing as she wonders what's waiting on the other side. What would you do? Click that play button and keep watching, because the next part's gonna change everything. Mia's hand lingers on the doorknob, the cold metal grounding her for a moment as her mind races with 1,000 what-ifs. You can probably feel her hesitation, that mix of curiosity and caution that comes when you're about to step into the unknown. Ethan's standing just behind her, his presence both comforting and unnerving, like a song you love but don't quite know the lyrics to. The hallway of his apartment building smells faintly of old wood and takeout, the kind of place that's seen countless stories unfold. She glances at him, searching his face for a clue, anything to tell her if she's making the right call. His eyes meet hers, steady and warm, but there's a shadow there, something unspoken that makes her stomach twist. You're probably wondering, just like she is, what's behind that door and what Ethan's not saying. This isn't just about a place to crash for the night. It's about trust, choices, and the kind of moments that can change your life forever. As Mia takes a deep breath and turns the knob, you're right there with her, stepping into a story that's about to get a whole lot more complicated. Stick with me because this is where things start to unravel, and every detail is going to pull you deeper into the mystery. Let's rewind a bit to understand how Mia ended up here, because no one gets locked out of their life without a story trailing behind them. Mia's a graphic designer, the kind who's always juggling freelance gigs and dreaming of her big break. She moved to the city a year ago, chasing a vibe, new opportunities, new people, a chance to reinvent herself. Her apartment, a cozy one-bedroom with creaky floors and a view of the skyline, was supposed to be her fresh start. But lately, things haven't been adding up. Her landlord's been dodging her calls, her rent payments have mysteriously not processed, and now this, her key refusing to turn in the lock. You're probably thinking, that's not just bad luck, something's off. And you're right. Mia's been so caught up in deadlines and coffee runs that she hasn't noticed the red flags piling up. There's a nagging feeling in her gut that this lockout isn't an accident, but she pushes it down, telling herself she's just paranoid. Meanwhile, Ethan's watching her from across the hall, and you can't help but wonder if he knows more than he's letting on. His offer to help feels like a lifeline, but lifelines can sometimes pull you into deeper waters. As Mia steps into his apartment, the door clicking shut behind her, you're left with that same uneasy question. Is Ethan her savior, or is he part of the puzzle she's yet to solve? Now let's shift to Ethan's side of the story, because there's more to him than meets the eye, and I know you're dying to know what's going on in his head. Ethan's a bartender at a trendy spot downtown, the kind of place where the cocktails have names you can't pronounce and the music's just loud enough to drown out your thoughts. He's good at his job. Charming, quick with a joke, the guy everyone likes but no one really knows. He moved into Mia's building a few months ago, keeping to himself mostly, but he's noticed her. Not in a creepy way, but in that quiet way you notice someone who seems to carry their own light. When he saw her struggling with the lock, something in him stirred, a mix of concern and maybe something else, something he's not ready to name. But here's where it gets interesting. Ethan's got his own secrets. There's a reason he's so quick to offer his place, and it's not just because he's a nice guy. Maybe it's tied to the late-night phone calls he takes in hushed tones, or the old photo he keeps tucked in his wallet, when he glances at when he thinks no one's watching. You're probably itching to know more, aren't you? Is Ethan hiding something dangerous, or is he just a guy with a complicated past trying to do the right thing? As he shows Mia to his couch, pointing out the coffee maker and the extra blankets, the air between them crackles with unspoken questions, and you're right there, piecing it together, wondering where this is all headed. While Mia's settling in, let's pull back and introduce a subplot that's gonna make this story even juicier. Across town, Mia's best friend, Lena, is starting to worry. Lena's the kind of friend who always knows when something's up, like a human lie detector with a knack for asking the right questions. She hasn't heard from Mia all day, which isn't like her. They usually text non-stop. Memes, work rants, plans for their next girls' night. Lena's got her own stuff going on. She's a nurse, always on her feet, dealing with long shifts and too much coffee. But when Mia's texts stop coming, her radar goes off. She tries calling, but Mia's phone is dead, and now Lena's mind is spinning. Is Mia just caught up with a client? Or is something seriously wrong? Lena decides to swing by Mia's place after her shift, and that's when she notices something odd. A maintenance van parked outside the building, one she's never seen before. The guy inside, fiddling with some tools, doesn't look like the usual repair crew. You're probably feeling that same prickle of suspicion, right? Is this van connected to Mia's lockout? Is someone messing with her on purpose? Lena's not one to sit back, so she starts asking questions, and her digging is about to stir up a whole new layer of this mystery. You're gonna want to keep watching, because Lena's not stopping until she gets answers, and what she finds might just change everything. Back in Ethan's apartment, the tension's building like a storm cloud ready to burst. Mia's trying to act casual, sipping the tea Ethan made her, but her eyes keep darting to the door, like she's half expecting someone to barge in. Ethan's playing it cool, asking her about her day, but there's a carefulness to his words, like he's choosing them one by one. The apartment's small but lived in, books stacked on the coffee table, a guitar leaning against the wall, a faint scent of cedar from a candle burning low. It feels safe, but there's an undercurrent, a vibe that keeps Mia, and you on edge. Then, out of nowhere, Ethan's phone buzzes. He glances at it, his face tightening for a split second before he silences it. Mia notices and you do too. Who's texting him at this hour? Why does he look like he's hiding something? She wants to ask, but she's a guest in his home, and the last thing she needs is to seem ungrateful. Instead, she makes small talk, asking about the guitar, and Ethan relaxes, spinning a story about playing in a band back in college. It's a charming distraction, but you're not fooled, are you? There's something bigger at play here, something that ties Mia's lockout to Ethan's secrets to that mysterious van Lena spotted. The pieces are starting to come together, but the picture's still blurry, and that's what makes this so gripping. You're invested now, wondering how it all connects, and I'm not gonna let you down. This story's only getting wilder. As the night deepens, Mia's starting to feel the weight of the day. She's exhausted, but sleep feels like a luxury she can't afford, not when her life feels like it's spinning out of control. Ethan's couch is comfy enough, but her mind's racing. Why her? Why now? She thinks about her landlord, the missed payments, the way her key just wouldn't turn. It's too much to be a coincidence, and the more she thinks about it, the more she's convinced someone's pulling strings behind the scenes. Across town, Lena's knocking on Mia's door, her heart sinking when no one answers. She spots a neighbor, an older woman who's always up late, and asks if she's seen Mia. The neighbor mentions something about new management at the building, a company that's been making changes. New locks, new rules. Lena's antennae go up. New management? Since when? She pulls out her phone, searching for the company's name, and stumbles across a forum post that sends a chill down her spine. It's vague, but it hints at tenants being pushed out, locks changed without warning. You're probably thinking, this is getting intense. And it is. Mia's locked out, Ethan's hiding something, Lena's digging into a conspiracy, and that van's still out there, its driver watching the building like a hawk. The stakes are climbing, and you're right in the thick of it, hooked on every word, desperate to know what happens next. Don't look away, because the air in Ethan's apartment feels thicker now, like the walls themselves are holding their breath. Mia's curled up on the couch, The blanket Ethan gave her pulled tight around her shoulders, but her eyes are wide open, scanning the room for answers she can't quite grasp. The cedar candle flickers, casting shadows that dance across Ethan's guitar, and every creak of the old building makes her heart skip. You're probably feeling that same knot in your stomach, aren't you? That sense that something's about to happen. Something big. Ethan's in the kitchen, rinsing out the teacups, but his phone buzzes again, and this time, he doesn't ignore it. He steps into the hallway, his voice low, too low for Mia to catch the words, but the tone's enough to make her sit up. Who's he talking to at this hour? Why does he keep glancing toward the window, like he's expecting someone, or something, to show up? Mia's instincts are screaming at her to leave, but where would she go? Her phone's dead, her apartment's locked, and the city outside feels like a maze with no exit structurally sound but riddled with surprises. Just as she's weighing her options, Ethan steps back inside, his face pale, his eyes darting to the door. "Mia," he says, his voice tight, "we need to talk." And that's when the doorbell rings, a sharp, insistent buzz that cuts through the silence like a knife. You're hooked now, right? Because whatever's on the other side of that door is about to turn this story upside down, and you're not going anywhere until you find out what it is. Across town, Lena's not slowing down, and her digging is starting to pay off in ways that make her blood run cold. She's still outside Mia's building, her phone glowing as she scrolls through that forum post about the new management. It's not just one or two complaints. There's a pattern. Tenants in multiple buildings, all reporting the same thing. Sudden lock changes, missing rent payments, evictions that don't add up. The company's name, Apex Properties, keeps popping up, and Lena's not buying their polished website or their customer-first mission statement. She's a nurse, not a detective, but she's got a nose for BS, and this smells like a scam. She flags down the neighbor again, the older woman with the late-night habits, and presses for more details. The woman hesitates, then spills. She saw a guy from Apex snooping around Mia's door a few days ago, fiddling with the lock. Lena's mind races. Could this be why Mia's locked out? Is Apex targeting her for some reason? Her gut tells her it's bigger than a shady landlord scheme, and when she spots that same maintenance van creeping down the street again, she snaps a photo of the license plate. You're probably thinking, Lena's onto something huge. And you're right. She's peeling back the layers of a conspiracy that's about to collide with Mia's night in ways no one saw coming. Keep watching, because this subplot's about to tie into the main story, and the stakes are higher than ever. Back at Ethan's place, the doorbell's still ringing, and Mia's frozen, her eyes locked on Ethan as he moves toward the door. He hesitates, his hand hovering over the knob, and for a split second, she sees something in his face. Fear, maybe, or guilt. You're probably screaming at the screen, "Don't open it." But he does, and standing there is a woman Mia's never seen before. She's in her late 30s, sharp-eyed, with a leather jacket and a vibe that says she's not here for small talk. "Ethan," she says, her voice clipped, "we've got a problem." Mia's heart pounds as the woman's gaze lands on her, sizing her up like she's a piece of a puzzle she doesn't like. Ethan tries to play it cool, introducing the woman as Claire, an old friend. But the tension in the room could choke you. Claire doesn't sit, doesn't smile, just crosses her arms and says, "You didn't tell her, did you?" Tell her what? Mia's head is spinning, and you're right there with her, trying to connect the dots. Is Claire an ex? A cop? Someone tied to Apex? Ethan's fumbling for words, but before he can explain, Claire drops a bombshell. Your apartment wasn't a random lockout, Mia. Someone's after you, and Ethan knows why. Boom! There's the twist you didn't see coming. You're probably gasping, wondering what Ethan's been hiding and why Mia's a target. The room feels like it's closing in, and Mia's voice shakes as she demands answers, but Claire's already pulling Ethan aside, whispering something that makes his face go white. You're not getting the full picture yet, but trust me, this is the kind of drama that trends on YouTube. Real-life mysteries, shocking reveals, and cliffhangers that keep you clicking. Let's double down on that twist, because it's not just about Mia anymore. It's personal for Ethan, and Claire's presence is the match that lights the fuse. Claire's not just an old friend, she's got history with Ethan, the kind that's messy and unresolved. Maybe they worked together, maybe they were more, but whatever it is, it's tied to Apex Properties and a deal that went south years ago. Ethan's been trying to leave that life behind, but Mia's lockout dragged him back in, and Claire's here to make sure he doesn't screw it up again. Mia's catching bits and pieces as they argue in hushed tones, words like debt, leverage, and they know where she lives. Her stomach drops as she realizes Ethan's not just a bystander. He's in deep, and his offer to let her crash wasn't as selfless as it seemed. You're probably thinking, no way, Ethan's involved? And that's the genius of this story. It's not just about a shady company or a locked door. It's about betrayal, secrets, and the kind of choices that haunt you. Mia's not sure who to trust anymore, and you're feeling that same whiplash, wondering if Ethan's a villain or a victim. Claire's watching her like a hawk, and when Mia tries to slip toward the door, Claire snaps. You leave now, you're walking into a trap. Trap? What trap? The suspense is killing you, right? Hang on, because this is about to get even wilder. Meanwhile, Lena's not sitting idle. She's taken her photo of the van to a friend who's got a knack for bending rules, a tech guy who can run plates and dig up dirt. He's hesitant, but Lena's not taking no for an answer, and within an hour, he's got a hit. The van's registered to a shell company linked to Apex Properties. It's not proof, but it's enough to make Lena's skin crawl. She tries Mia's phone again, still dead, and decides it's time to go full detective. She heads to a 24-hour diner, the kind where you can think over a greasy burger and a coffee, and starts searching for Apex on her laptop. What she finds isn't just shady. It's dangerous. Lawsuits, whistleblower reports, even a news article about a tenant who disappeared after pushing back against Apex. Lena's heart races as she pieces it together. Mia's lockout is part of a bigger play, maybe a gentrification scheme or something even darker. She texts her tech friend to keep digging, but as she steps outside, she notices a car idling across the street, its driver watching her. You're probably yelling, Lena, get out of there. But she's too stubborn, too loyal to Mia, to back down. This subplot's not just background noise anymore. It's a ticking clock, and Lena's about to stumble into the same web that's got Mia tangled up. Back at Ethan's, the tension's at a breaking point. Mia's done playing nice. She grabs her bag, ready to bolt, but Ethan blocks the door, his voice pleading. Mia, you don't understand. They'll find you. They? Who's they? Claire cuts in, her tone all business. Apex isn't just a property company. They're cleaning house and you're in the way. Mia's head is reeling, and you're right there with her, trying to make sense of it. Is Apex after her apartment, her identity, or something she doesn't even know she has? And why is Ethan so desperate to keep her here? Claire's phone pings, and her face hardens as she reads the message. They're outside, she says, her voice low. Mia's pulse spikes as she hears footsteps in the hall. Heavy, deliberate, not the kind of footsteps you ignore. Ethan grabs her arm, pulling her toward the back of the apartment, while Claire checks the peephole. You're on the edge of your seat, aren't you? Because whoever's out there isn't here for a friendly chat, and Mia's night just went from bad to life or death. The door rattles as someone tests the lock, and Ethan whispers, We've got one chance to get you out of here. Out of here? To where? The suspense is electric, the stakes are sky high, and you're glued to this story, desperate for the next beat. Don't blink, because this is the kind of real-life drama that keeps you up at night, and we're barreling toward a climax that'll leave you speechless. Just when you think you've got a handle on this story, it's about to take a turn that'll leave you breathless. The door rattles again, louder this time, and Mia's heart feels like it's about to burst out of her chest as Ethan pulls her toward a narrow hallway at the back of his apartment. Claire's right behind them, her face grim, her hand hovering near the pocket of her leather jacket like she's ready for a fight. You're probably gripping your seat, feeling the same pulse-pounding adrenaline that's got Mia's legs shaking. The footsteps outside grow heavier, and there's a low murmur of voices. 2, maybe 3 people, and they're not here to deliver pizza. Ethan's whispering now, his voice urgent but steady, telling Mia there's a fire escape out the back window. We move fast, we're fine, he says, but his eyes betray a flicker of doubt. Claire's checking her phone, muttering about a contact who's supposed to meet them, but the signal's spotty, and time's running out. Mia's mind is a whirlwind. Why her? Why now? Apex Properties, Ethan's secrets, Claire's cryptic warnings. It's all crashing together, and she's caught in the middle of a real-life thriller that's trending on YouTube for all the right reasons. Heart-stopping drama, shocking twists, and mysteries that keep you guessing. As Ethan pries open the window, the cold night air rushes in, and Mia realizes this is it, the moment where everything changes. You're right there with her, holding your breath, because whatever happens next is going to decide whether she gets out alive or becomes another name in Apex's shadowy ledger. Out on the fire escape, the city sprawls below like a glittering trap, its lights mocking Mia's desperation. Ethan's leading the way, his movements quick but careful, while Claire brings up the rear, her eyes scanning the alley below. The metal creaks under their weight, and every step feels like it could give them away. Mia's still piecing it together, her mind flashing back to Claire's bombshell. Apex isn't just a property company. They're a front for something bigger, something that's got Ethan tangled up and Mia in their crosshairs. She catches Ethan's arm, her voice low but fierce. "Tell me the truth, why me?" He hesitates, his jaw tight, but the pounding on the apartment door, now a full-on battering, forces his hand. "Your apartment," he says, his words rushed. "It's not about the rent. You've got something they want, a drive, a file, something your old roommate left behind." Mia's stomach drops. Her old roommate Jess, who moved out 6 months ago and vanished without a trace. Could Jess have been mixed up with Apex? Before Mia can press further, a shadow moves in the alley below, a figure watching them. Claire curses, pulling a small flashlight from her pocket and signaling to someone across the street. You're probably screaming, "Who's down there?" And that's when the climax hits. A car screeches into the alley, its headlights blinding, and Lena, yes, Lena, leaps out, shouting Mia's name. The reunion's cut short as the apartment door finally gives way, and Apex's goons spill into Ethan's place, their voices echoing up the fire escape. It's now or never, and you're glued to this real-life drama, knowing this is the make-or-break moment. The fire escape shakes as Mia, Ethan, and Claire scramble downward, Lena's car idling below like a lifeline. But the figure in the alley steps into the light, and Mia's blood runs cold. It's her landlord, Mr. Carver, the guy who's been dodging her calls for weeks. He's not the bumbling old man she thought. His eyes are sharp, his stance predatory, and he's holding something that glints in the moonlight. A gun? A knife? You're probably as shocked as Mia, because this is the twist that flips everything. Carver's not just a shady landlord, he's Apex's enforcer, and he's been playing Mia from the start. Ethan shouts for Lena to drive, but Carver's faster, lunging toward the car as Mia hits the ground. Claire spins, her own weapon drawn, a stun gun, and there's a crackle as Carver stumbles, giving them just enough time to pile into Lena's car. The tires squeal as Lena floors it, weaving through the city's backstreets, the sound of sirens growing faint in the distance. Mia's gasping, her mind reeling as Ethan finally spills the rest. Jess, her old roommate, had stumbled onto Apex's real operation. A data laundering scheme, funneling stolen info through fake leases and shell companies. Jess hid a USB drive in Mia's apartment, thinking it was safe, but Apex caught wind and changed the locks to keep Mia out while they searched. Ethan, it turns out, was Jess's friend, trying to protect Mia without dragging her into the mess. You're probably thinking, no way, it all connects. And it does. This story's a puzzle, and every piece is falling into place, but there's one final twist waiting to blow your mind. Lena's driving like she's in a movie, her nurse's calm replaced by a fierceness that makes you root for her. She's been piecing things together too, thanks to her tech friend, who hacked into Apex's servers and found a list of targeted tenants. Mia's name at the top. Claire's contact, a rogue journalist who's been tailing Apex for years, meets them at a safe house on the edge of town, a cramped apartment stuffed with files and laptops. Here's where the resolution kicks in. The journalist, Sam, has enough evidence to expose Apex, bank records, emails, even Carver's real identity as a disgraced ex-cop. But the USB drive is the key, and Mia realizes it's still in her apartment, tucked inside a book Jess loved. The group hatches a plan to sneak back, with Lena and Sam creating a diversion while Ethan and Mia slip inside. It's risky, but Mia's done running. She wants her life back. The mission's a heart-pounding blur. Lena fakes a medical emergency to distract Carver's goons, Sam leaks a teaser of Apex's crimes to a news outlet, and Mia and Ethan dodge security to grab the drive. They make it out by the skin of their teeth, the drive in hand, and Sam uploads its contents, a trove of data that'll bury Apex for good. The story's racing toward its end, and you're right there, cheering as justice closes in, but there's still that final twist, and it's a doozy. As the dust settles, Mia's safe, Apex is crumbling, and the news is blowing up with headlines about the scandal. You're probably feeling that rush of relief, right? Mia's sitting with Lena at their favorite diner, the USB drive now with the feds, and Ethan's there too, quieter now, his secrets laid bare. Claire's gone, off to chase another fight, but she left Mia with a nod of respect. It feels like closure, until Mia gets a text from an unknown number. It's a photo of Jess alive, standing in a city Mia doesn't recognize, with a message, "You kept it safe. Now I can come home." Mia's jaw drops, and you're probably gasping too, because here's the final twist. Jess isn't dead. She's been in hiding, waiting for Apex to fall. The realization hits Mia like a wave. Her lockout, Ethan's help, Lena's digging. It all saved Jess, too. The story ends with Mia smiling, a mix of relief and wonder, knowing she didn't just survive, she changed lives. You're left with a takeaway that sticks. Sometimes, the moments that lock you out of your life are the ones that open the door to something bigger. This is the kind of real-life drama that trends on YouTube. Shocking twists, heartfelt resolutions, and stories that remind you how strong we can be when the stakes are high. Thanks for sticking with me, because Mia's journey is one you'll never forget.